Perfect. Um, Hi everyone, how are you getting on? My name's Adam. I am a first year graduate here at Esri UK, and I'm basically going to take about 10 minutes today just telling you a little bit about kind of the graduate scheme itself and mainly really my kind of journey to get here that some people might be interested in if you're thinking of applying and doing the same, or just interested in a wider um, kind of career in GIS. So I always had a bit of an interest in geography all through school. And it wasn't really a completely straightforward journey into Esri. So it took me a little while to get here. I was firstly enrolled on paramedic science at Coventry University. Decided that that wasn't the route for me. And so I dropped out of that and worked and travelled for a few months while I kind of reevaluated my options. And finally, after a few twists and turns, I decided that geography was for me, and I chose to study in my home city of Birmingham. So I went to the University of Birmingham, and I loved my time at Birmingham. I was president of the Gaelic football team, which is one of my biggest highlights, and also really enjoyed football and netball. And as part of the geography course at Birmingham, we learned about things like natural hazards, pollution, geopolitics, and we got an introduction to GIS through things like statistics in crime data and glaciology. Um, and yeah, it wasn't until my dissertation really that I fully started to explore GIS. I only really encountered it in my third year when I did a dissertation focusing on air pollution for Birmingham cyclists. So this involved wearing a little GPS tracker and effectively, oh, sorry, there should be some oh, they're the trees. I couldn't resist just putting a little bit of 3D story maps in to show you a little bit about the tech we have here at Esri. So yeah, it used basically this pollution sensor to put together some data on pollution for cyclists and coming up with new routes. So that was really exciting. And that basically made me think, oh, well, I quite enjoyed that GIS part. And the more kind of jobs and stuff that I was applying to for after uni, I was thinking, this GIS stuff actually might be quite useful. So I decided to pursue a master's in GIS, and I did that um, over in. Oh, sorry, I've got this story map. Did this? Yeah, sorry. So basically, oh, sorry, it's gotten a little bit stuck. Uh, Here we go. Sorry, it's stuck in the trees. So this is Birmingham from above, and I thought it'd be nice to show you where I ended up next. So I decided to do a master's at Ulster University over in Northern Ireland. Um, they do this as a hybrid course, so I got a few opportunities to go over there, which was really nice. One of the highlights for me was going over to deliver some findings from some research I did with a placement partner called Langclan. I'll come on to those in a second, but yeah, the course at Ulster was really good. It basically allowed me to kind of develop my GIS skills using a range of different kind of softwares such as ArcGIS, QGIS, but also using different like programming languages such as Python and SQL. Um, that was one of the little things that I worked on whilst at Ulster, doing about displacement in America, land displacement due to water shortage and things like that. And so yeah, I grew my technical and presentation skills there and started to consider my next steps, kind of where I was going to apply to and things like that through the careers guidance at Ulster. And one of the best things that I got to do at Ulster was placement with Langclan. So Langclan are a company that work quite closely with Esri. Basically, they are a large kind of data company that bring together data from lots of different kind of places. Um, and so being exposed to this sort of data and this sort of research was really interesting for me because it allowed me to just develop my skills a little bit more. And the main research I was doing there was into 20-minute neighborhoods. So I made a little model to show you just in case anyone hasn't heard of what these are before. So this was completely new to me at the time, pretty much. And it basically is how close is your house or anyone's house from all the facilities that you need on a daily basis. And this data was really cool because it allowed me to do this for 14 different cities in England using the same GIS model. Um, and it basically just looks at how close are you from your house to your nearest, say, for example, doctor's surgery, or it could be your nearest urban park or somewhere like that, or it could be something like schools, gyms. And this data from Langclan and this research basically allowed me to put together a dissertation that explored all this. And yeah, that was kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm enjoying this GIS stuff. Definitely want to go into this afterwards. And so then I started looking at different careers, and that was what led me to apply for Esri. I'll talk in a little bit about the journey more into Esri itself. But one of the things that I wanted to just kind of highlight throughout the kind of like time of my undergrad and my postgrad course was the different things that you can do on the sides to kind of like, show your interest and things like that. So I thought I'd show you a little project that I worked on back over in Birmingham. So this was with the Institute for Research into Superdiversity, and this is basically a research institution that's tied to the University of Birmingham that maps census data. And what I got a chance to do with them was lots of different GIS mapping, but within a team of non-GIS experts. And it really is worth asking at whatever kind of like if you're in your undergrad or you're doing a postgrad, asking at your university if there is any chances or any projects going on that might need some help with GIS, because one of the things that the Institute for Research in Superdiversity has is a shortage of kind of GIS staff. And that was something I just kind of stumbled across after I finished at Birmingham. And I also got to create resources for a really cool organisation called the String Credibles, and they basically teach about diversity in the West Midlands to school children. And GIS is great for this because, as you can see from this little image here, you can teach children about how kind of places have changed without having to have like text and PowerPoints, because kids don't really understand that. But what they do understand is images and flags and things like that. I also got to assist with some first year GIS workshops at the University of Birmingham, because I still lived in Birmingham when I was doing the Ulster course. And it even included giving a demo on using LangClan data. I'm going to give a little shout out to LangClan's data, because if you're doing a dissertation or anything like that at the moment and you're thinking that what I've just shown might actually be quite relevant to you and what you'd like to do, get in touch with LangClan. And if you have access to Digimap, all of their all of their data is shortly going to be available on Digimap, so it's a really good organisation to have a look into, as well as having a look at the Esri Living Atlas and things like that, because all of the kind of stuff that I'm showing on here, a lot of it is come straight out of the Esri Living Atlas. So yeah, through those kind of projects, I really got to kind of things to put on my CV and just talking points, and got to know where my own interests within GIS lie. I attended the Esri annual conference, which was really fun. And I think another thing to mention is just that any experience that you've got, no matter whether it's GIS or not, is really important. So, I mean, at the same time, I sidelined working in radiology in a hospital. I was a steward at West Bromwich Albion Football Club, and things like this. It's all kind of like it all ties in because it helps you to understand what you're interested in, what you're not interested in, and really important skills to bring into the workplace. So yeah, I'll come on to Esri now. So I applied for Esri in the winter of 2023. Um, and as much as I'm sure Esri would love me to come onto this call and say Esri was the only company I considered and things like that, that would be lying. Like everyone always has kind of, you cast your net wide and you apply to lots of things. And one of the things that I found was it's really quite disparaging when you first start applying to things, because you probably will get rejected from a lot of things. But that's okay. Like Esri was one of my favorite ones, and it was the top of my pile of one that I'd like to be accepted for. And whilst I was unsuccessful for a lot of other ones, I was successful at Esri. So you'll always find an organisation that's the right fit for you. So this is me on my interview day down in Aylesbury. And kind of not everything on my interview day went amazingly. Some stuff I thought, oh no, I'm really not sure I've got this off the back of that. But you never know. And like as long as you kind of show your genuine interest and stuff, you'll probably do fine in a lot of these kind of job interviews. So yeah, I got the job in 2024, and this is us, the current first year graduates. I'll just take you through a few of the things that kind of um, have been highlights for me so far. I mean, I've only been here for 8 weeks, but yeah, I'm currently in the product comms rotation. These are the rotations that are in first year. Molly will talk a little bit as well about the second year rotations, because there is a few more. I think there's 9 rotations altogether, but I'm sure that will get covered later on in the call. And one of the highlights for me was speaking at not speaking, sorry, just attending at the Welsh conference at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. I've also had the opportunity to develop some dashboards in some areas of interest for me. So I'm really interested in football, and I put together this little dashboard. And this is another one that me and Molly are working on, encouraging our staff into active travel. And then this was one that I actually did before I joined Esri, and it was just when I was playing about with kind of GIS software as a whole, trying to kind of like develop my interests. And so that was the reason that I threw this in, was just kind of like, when you're thinking of where you want to apply and you're trying to put together things kind of to put on your CV or just to talk about, just get on with the software and kind of start putting together some kind of resources that you think interest you, um, and that you can talk about with passion and things like that. So yeah, that's how I've ended up at Esri. I'm really enjoying it. And if you want to ask me any questions or anything like that, I've thrown my LinkedIn at the bottom. Feel free to get in touch. So yeah, I'll hand over to Molly now, and she'll tell you a little bit more about second year at Esri.